Hello, what's happening, everyone? Thank you guys so much for being here, for clicking on the video. Hope you're having a wonderful one out there. Today, we're going to listen to Kansas. We're going to listen to this track off of their album Vinyl Confessions, their 8th studio album, released in 1982. This is going to be the track Crossfire that we're checking out. I believe it's the final track on the album as well. Yes, it is. Final track on the album, closing it out. We're listening to this because it was suggested and sponsored by Michael Gray. Michael, thank you so much for the recommendation. Really appreciate the support as well. It's not that I've necessarily heard of every single, album or like seen every single album cover, but this album from Kansas I've never even heard of. The album cover is not whatsoever familiar to me. Just completely new. And like I said, I know it's not like I've ever seen every single album from Kansas. Of course, Little Unheard, but a lot of times, like, certain album covers or titles of albums, what's the phrase, precede the reputation or whatever it is. Like, even way before, obviously, I knew what progressive rock was. I knew I heard of Pink Floyd. I heard of Dark Side of the Moon, even if I never even knew a thing about them. But yeah, this is not one of those. Anyways, let's go ahead and listen to the track. We'll discuss it a little bit after. Here we go.
Underneath the sky of blue, it's a time of choosing. Everybody's holding on to what they're losing, but it all works out okay if you give your life away to the one who's holding fast. It's a promise that will last.
With the synth. That's such an 80s kind of sound and chorus. Nice half step. Or half time.
There isn't any in between.
Very nice.
There's no escaping. If you step across the line, it's illuminating. And the words are clear and true. And they all will be for you. For you harvest what you sow. So where you gonna go?
I love how it gets into this drive ring with the keys. Heavy riffage. Great drumming on here. I like how that section kind of instrumentally acted like the chorus. What's that time signature?
Everybody faces it, now or later. You can't get around it, 'cause it's human nature. And deep within the harvest heart, there is something there that knows there's a hunger life can never fill till you face the one who rose. Of a greater love than
This is like so 80s, like training montage
And you
almost.
got to choose which way you're gonna go. In a world of darkness, turn to the light. All that you're fearing, dreamers awaken, chances are taken. There's no pretending, no other ending. All is forgiven if you are living anew. Living anew.
Right back into that. It's very catchy. Gotta give it that too. I think that there's a lot to like in this track. Like the 80s influence is very much in there, you know, from the violins / keyboards that you hear going on. That very catchy melody, right? The like it's very 80s inspired. It's very much of that time. But I think that like Kansas is a band that pulls that off very well. Like, yes, this is definitely a little bit more straightforward than perhaps some of their earlier, more progressive works that at least I'm familiar with. But I think that the band still has that heart. It still has those prog and progressive tendencies that work their way in here very well. I love the chorus though. The chorus, I love how in the beginning, you know, it's very charged up. It's very energized. What are you waiting for? Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. Like it's very up tempo and just energized, right? And then the second half of the chorus, it takes it to a halftime, cuts it down a little bit, gives it a little bit more space. The singing is a lot more calm there. Everything is just opened up a little. And I like how the chorus has those two contrasting deliveries and sounds to them because that makes the chorus interesting. It keeps it like, I mean, interesting is, I guess, the best word to use. But it just makes it so that every time it comes around, like that change, at least to me, is very much to look forward to. The guitar solos in there are also really nice. You're going to have Liv Grin on the guitar here. And then Rich Williams as well. You do have a new singer here in the band, John Elefante, replacing Steve Walsh. I had to think about it for a second, which is kind of interesting. And I think that he sounds great. I think that, to be honest, the band still sounds like Kansas. You know, sometimes when a new lead singer comes in, you know, sometimes it's kind of difficult because do you want the lead singer to sound like the old singer? You do want, more than likely, the new lead singer to be able to pull off this old material as well with a certain range or cadence or whatever that may be. But you probably want that new singer to also understand that they're not the same person, and you want them to be their own person to a certain extent and their own artist, right? And the way they deliver things and create new music for the band going forward. And I think that he steps into a great role here. He sounds great. He, to me, clearly has the range still of Walsh. Still brings that soulful singing, you know, but still nothing's left wanting. I think that he just sounded really good here. Those two guitar solos as well were nice and welcome. Just really Like a nice heavy moments in this track, especially when the background riffing came in, you know, giving it a little bit of more weight to the track. There was that little proggy section where I was trying to count out the time, but I could not figure out what it was. And by the time I was actually dedicated to try and focusing on it, it had moved on from there. But I think that this is a cool track. Like I said, I think that as they moved into this particular song, I can't speak for anything else, but in this particular song, which clearly goes into a much more kind of contemporary mainstream direction, I think that it still works very well with the band. And the band has always done tracks like this and had a sound towards this kind of extent. So I think they do very well. Also, can I really quickly shout out Phil Ehart on the drums, who's always been around. In this track in particular, I think his drumming is perfect. In the sense of his drumming is unique and varied. There's a lot of really great fills in here and a lot of moments for him to fill around. A lot of great rhythms that he kind of shakes up. Like he keeps it very, very interesting. And he does so right up to the line of, okay, you're showing off, or okay, you're taking away from the song. He doesn't at all cross that line. There's no crossfire involved. He tips that line and he keeps it, he keeps the song and playing along with the song. You know, he doesn't overstep or step on anyone else's toes with the way he drums. He just lifts. I think is a great way to describe it. Let's look at these lyrics. Underneath the sky of blue, it's a time of choosing. Everybody's holding on to what they're losing. But it all works out okay if you give your life away to the one who's holding fast. It's a promise that will last. You're caught in a crossfire of a greater love than man has ever known. Caught in a crossfire and you've got to choose which way you're going to go. And a world of darkness turns to the light. That's all it's about, man. Time's disappearing. All that you're fearing, dreamers awaken. Chances are taken away. There's not many chances. Do the right thing instead of doing the wrong thing. There isn't any in between. There's no escaping. If you step across the line, it's illuminating. Now, the words are clear and true, for they all were meant for you. For you harvest what you sow, so where you gonna go? Repeats the lyrics there again. There's no pretending, no other ending. All is forgiven if you are living anew. Everybody faces it now or later. You can't get around it because it's human nature. And deep within the hardest heart, there is something there that knows there's a hunger life can never fill till you face the one who rose. Okay, so it's about Jesus. Unless I'm mistaken. Now that I'm looking at the lyrics. Let's see. Highest chart single, major turning point for the band. After I do remember either reading something of this nature or maybe you guys commented it. After the conversion of both guitarist, keyboard player Kerry Livgren and bass player Dave Hope to evangelical Christianity, and the focus they placed on the religion of this band's lyrics, lead singer Steve Walsh did not agree, and he was out of there. And he started his own band, Streets. Never heard of him. Walsh also had contributed much as a songwriter, so the band was forced to find a new lead singer. So this is why Fonte came in. Lead singer who not only had a vocal style to fit the band's music, but also could contribute new material for the upcoming album. There you go. It's literally what I said. After a long audition, they came out with 3 candidates, Warren Ham, Michael Gleason, and John Elefante. Let's look at who these 3 people are. Okay, Warren Ham. He's played with Kansas, played with Toto, Ringo Starr and his all-star band. Okay. And then you got Michael Gleason, best known as one of the founding members of the band AD. Never heard of AD. Okay. And they started with John Elefante. Obviously now with Kansas, but where did he come from? Actually, I'm not quite sure. I was trying to see like what the history was, like how did they hear about him, you know? But I'm not quite sure on that one. Either way, cool track though. Let me know what you guys thought of course, in the comments down below. Thank you so much, Michael, for the recommendation. Thank you so much for the support as well. I appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts down there. Swing on by, say hello. Have a wonderful day. Thank you as always for showing up. And I'll see you all later. Bye, guys.